Hello and welcome to this week's podcast for Thursday the 16th of September with Kevin Ross for an easy listening digest of the week's news from the Melton Times. Coming up, Save the Town's cafe culture, the school celebrates special status and the twins get a helping hand. And finally in sport, Hillary lands a national title. All this and more coming up next in the Melton Times podcast for Thursday the 16th of September 2010. And on the front page of the Melton Times this week, a campaign calling for a rethink on plans to charge Melton cafes for having outdoor tables and chairs is building up steam as hundreds of competitors sign a petition. Traders and customers are up in arms over the charges and increased red tape to regulate street cafes, which many fear will kill off any atmosphere of a cafe culture in Melton. Cafes which want outdoor tables and chairs must fork out £300 for a licence, with £150 renewal every year after. Cafe owners met County Hall officials last month to discuss concerns, but the County Council has admittedly shown no sign of budging. The petition will go to County Hall leader David Parsons and Eric Pickles, Secretary of State for Communities and Local Government. Copies can also be signed at the Melton Times. Would it be fair? Email your views to editor meltontimes.co.uk. Catholics from Melton will make an exhausting pilgrimage on Sunday for the first papal visit in nearly 30 years. Melton took 11 of the 16 places offered to every parish on a coach to Birmingham to hear Mass with the Pope. Father Kevin Clark, parish priest of St John the Baptist and St Peter, is going to the ecumenical prayer service at Westminster Abbey tomorrow with the Pope and the Archbishop of Canterbury. An inquest into the death of a Melton motorcyclist heard how he lost control of his bike and slid into the path of an oncoming car. Robert Ashton, aged 45, of Linton Road, died in Nottingham's Queen's Medical Centre after his red and black Kawasaki motorbike was involved in a collision with a silver Vauxhall Astra in Nottingham Road near the Brampton Road junction on Saturday, April the 10th. Leicestershire Police Collision Investigation Unit concluded the primary cause of Mr Aston losing his control of his bike was the condition of his front brakes, with only a minimal amount of pressure causing his front wheel to lock. Staff and pupils are celebrating after being marked top of the class. Longfield School achieved specialist sports status despite government's cutback threatening to axe the service. The school has spent the last 2 years raising £50,000 with the help of the community towards its application. The new building has the state-of-art facilities with a sports science lab, video technology, meeting spaces, traditional classrooms and much, much more. The new status means the school will get a £20,000 grant to improve facilities and will get more than £90,000 annually to raise achievement levels across all subjects, not just sport. Longfield will link with the 5 other schools in the area to provide help and support for teachers. And staying with schools, a new after-school club has been opened in Stathern, offering a facility for families in the Vale of Belvoir. The club, based in the Memorial Hall in Main Street, has been set up by experienced teacher, parent and Stathern resident Sean Tarvett. Trading as the base, the club is open as a not-for-profit company called Stavex Limited. More information, call 07522 120 254 or email stavex@tiscali.co.uk.
Have you ever heard the Melton Times?
Have you heard the Melton Times?
The Melton Times podcast. It's news in a flash.
More than 1,000 people turned out for a weekend of fun and games at the Harby Country Show and Working Weekend. Liz Volks, one of the organisers and secretary of Harby Primary School, said it'd been one of the biggest years yet and had lots of support from the local community. The rural show, in its 3rd year, showcased a display of vintage cars, a dog show and competitions for children, including Biggest Sunflower Head. Winners were Oliver, aged 7, and Harry, aged 4, whose sunflower measured more than a foot in diameter. Mayor Margaret Moore spoke about her pride in the history of Melton and encouraged the younger generation to learn more about the town after taking part in a historical walk on Friday. The 2-mile walk began with the brief history of St Mary's Church with the guide John Plum, who took people through the marketplace and around the town. And continuing those memories, guides from the past and present enjoyed a trip down memory lane in Melton in celebration of 100 years of guiding. Treasured memories were shared at a recent event held at Sagecross Church, which included an exhibition and a coffee morning. Past guides from near and far attended the nostalgic event, bringing on their own guiding memorabilia, including photos, badges, handbooks and uniforms.
Hi, I'm Dominic Heel, a presenter for East Midlands Today from the BBC, and you're listening to the Melton Times podcast.
Community-spirited volunteers from Melton firm Kettleby Foods took on a Mission Possible challenge to revamp the town's Penman Spicer Hall. Willing team members spent a day painting the hall in Park Lane, giving it a welcome makeover for the benefit of the local community. Now, for more information about volunteering in your community, call the Voluntary Action Leicestershire helpline on 0116 257 5050 or email rachel.w@valonline.org. And continuing community spirit, a generous businessman has offered a fire-hit family free clothing. 15-year-old twins Fern and Taylor McLean lost all their clothes when a plug-in air freshener caught fire in their Valiant Way house. When Auntie Mamos, owner of Exit Clothing in Burton Street and Evolution in Market Square, heard of the story, he offered the pair £100 in vouchers. The Heroes and Villains themed Scarecrow weekend proved to be a success, despite Saturday's windy weather delaying the Scarecrow's unveiling. The event at Hickling attracted more than 2,000 people. This year's array of Scarecrows entries included a Spider-Man, a tribute to Alex Higgins Scarecrow, George and the Dragon and a St Bernard dog, all competing in a range of categories including the People's Choice Prize. And final news this week, this person certainly isn't a Scarecrow, it's official. Melton's MP is more attractive than the Prime Minister. Alan Duncan was ranked 21st most attractive British man in a poll of 1,500 women, a list topped by Colin Firth.
Hi, this is Alan Duncan, and you are listening to the Melton Times podcast.
And in free time this week, all set for the Beer Festival, Melton's 8th annual beer festival taking place this weekend. It's been organised by the local branch of the CAMRA, the Campaign for Real Ale, along with Melton Cattle Market and the Market Tavern. Highlights include a local ale bar of 15 beers from 8 local breweries, including the champion beer of England, Harvest Pale, from the Castle Rock Brewery in Nottingham. Added to all this, there'll be live music with the Hound Dogs playing tomorrow and the platforms on Saturday. The festival takes place on Friday and Saturday, September the 17th and 18th from 11 a.m. till late both days. And the curtain is set to rise on the Little Shop of Horrors. Melton people are being warned that there'll be a strange and interesting plant in their midst. If they want to catch sight of this spectacular, then they will need to buy a ticket for Little Shop of Horrors. The show is being staged by Melton Musical Theatre Company at Melton Theatre on Tuesday to Saturday, September the 25th. Performances start at 7:30 and tickets are on sale at the box office on Melton 851 111. For more information about the company, go to tmmtc.co.uk. And if that's not enough, Waltham's annual Charter Fair returns this weekend and promises to be better than ever. Highlights include the return of the foot-long hot dog, courtesy of the Athersley Cub Shop, a beer tent run by Marquis of Granby, and live music will be undercover. But the big new attraction for this year's fair will be the Human Water Ball, a giant hamster ball which means people can run on water. And also looking slightly ahead, more than 1,000 cyclists are expected to take the saddle at the annual Viking Challenge charity cycle event, organised by Redmar Primary School. The event, which is being held on Sunday, October the 3rd, is open to everyone, young, old, teams and individual. As well as the enjoyment and satisfaction of completing the unique route, prizes will be on offer for those raising the most sponsorship money, plus free t-shirts for all riders raising £50 or more. Entry for the challenge is £15 before the day and £20 on the day. For more details, including how to enter, visit vikingchallenge.org.uk. And finally, in free time, there's a triple bill on at the big screen. Tamara Drew, Certificate 15, The Girl Who Played with Fire, Certificate 15, and also A Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Certificate PG. For information, ring their box office on 562251 or go to regal-melton.co.uk.
I'm Rob Dorset, the Midlands correspondent with Sky Sports News, and you're listening to the Melton Times podcast.
And in sport on the back page, international angler Hilary Tomlinson was on cloud nine after netting her first national title. Hilary from Wissendine was a latecomer to the sport and just picked up the rod just 9 years ago. But she walked away with the top prize of the English Ladies National Fly Fishing Championship at Buell Water in Kent. But to more uncertain times, the fallout from the closure of Melton Leisure Centre has caused a successful club to withdraw from their league. Just months after the centre's closure was announced, Melton Squash Club captain Leaky Dow had to make the heartbreaking decision to withdraw his team from the County League for the forthcoming season. The Aspey Road Leisure Centre housed the town's only squash courts, and their closure left Melton's players facing a trip to Leicester or Loughborough for every home game. And also unfortunate times as the race chief fights to save the 2010 Sickle Classic. One of the region's biggest sporting events could fold after the withdrawal of one of the principal sponsors. The East Midlands International Sickle Classic could be cancelled after the East Midlands Development Agency, EMDA, was forced to withdraw its support after the government's decision to phase out the Regional Development Agency. EMDA has been one of the chief backers for the international cycling over the last 4 years and has helped develop the race into one of the biggest and highly regarded races in Britain. But if you can offer sponsorship, then call Colin Clues or email him at colin.l.clues@btinternet.com or contact the Melton Times. Well, that's about it. Of course, the full stories can be found in the Melton Times. So until next week, when we'll have yet more news and sport, have a very safe week. That was a JK Media production for the Melton Times.